The first time the predator cub asked why he had to eat meat, the feeding hall went silent, and armed guards reached for their rifles as if the question itself were a weapon. No one had prepared us for curiosity. The cub was called Tick, a juvenile of the Varkeen, an apex predator species whose name alone had emptied human colonies in the early days of contact. He was small, all narrow shoulders and half-grown claws, his dark fur still soft at the edges. But his eyes were not those of a child. They were ancient, amber and sharp, reflecting generations of conquest and survival. He stared down at the slab of raw flesh on his tray. It twitched faintly, neural impulses still firing. Standard Varkeen rations. Fresh. Warm. Human Mira, he said through the translator collar at his throat, voice low and uncertain. Why do we always eat the ones who scream? The question cut deeper than any insult or threat. I was assigned to Helios 9 as a cultural linguist, orbiting a dead red star on the edge of civilized space. My job was to observe, translate, and never interfere. Especially not with predators. Especially not with Varkeen children. But the hall was watching me now. Waiting. Because your species evolved that way, I said carefully. Meat gives you what your body needs. Tick's ears flattened. Then the screaming is necessary? None of us were prepared for the weight of that word. The Varkeen had signed the Galactic Accord after calculating that peace was more profitable than war. They did not value compassion. They valued efficiency. Their cubs were raised on combat simulations and live prey, taught that hesitation was weakness and mercy a flaw. And yet Tick hesitated. That should have terrified me. Instead it stayed with me. Over the following days, he followed me through the station. He watched human children on archived Earth footage. He lingered in hydroponics, nose pressed to glass as green leaves unfurled under artificial suns. Plants do not scream, he observed once. No, I said. They don't. Then why do you still eat animals? Because we are not innocent, I almost said. Because morality is learned, not given. But I saw how carefully he listened, how each answer shaped something fragile inside him. What happens, he asked one cycle later, if a Varkeen refuses meat? I hesitated. They grow weak. And if they eat, he said, others grow weak forever. That was only the beginning. Station security began reporting unauthorized access to restricted genetic archives. Varkeen biotech. Human neural maps. Empathy markers flagged in red. When I confronted the station director, her hands trembled. Tick isn't here to learn from us, she whispered. He's here because of us. The truth unfolded in fragments. The Varkeen had altered him, spliced dormant empathic pathways into a predator brain. Not to make him kinder. To make him more effective. A strategist who understood fear, hope, guilt. A weapon who knew exactly what mercy cost. I found Tick in the feeding bay, staring at a restrained prey animal, its heart racing so fast the sensor screamed. Stop it, I said, overriding the system. The animal lived. Tick turned to me, eyes wet. If I do not eat, I fade. If I eat, they fade. Which fading matters? I had no answer that didn't hurt. The Varkeen fleet arrived 3 days later. They demanded their cub. Their experiment. Negotiations collapsed into threats. Helios 9 prepared for evacuation. That night, Tick came to my quarters. I do not want to be a blade, he said. I want to choose what I become. I opened the emergency pod. Then run. He shook his head. Running does not end hunger. When the station detonated, I survived only because he forced me into the pod and sealed it himself. Through the viewport, I saw fire bloom where Helios 9 had been, and Varkeen ships retreat, not victorious, but shaken. Weeks later, Tick's final recording spread across the galaxy. A predator cub asking a question no empire could silence. Why do we always eat those who scream? And for the first time, the universe had no easy answer, and no way to forget it.